Christmas.
Merry Christmas, you guys. Merry Christmas. We're here training.
So it is Christmas. What day is it? Wednesday.
Yeah.
Wednesday morning.
Yeah.
Wow, we're here training. I know a lot of people are celebrating Christmas this morning. We kind of just had a nice dinner last night, celebrated. Celebrations are over. It's back to business. Anything you want to say as we're getting close to 2025, New Year's resolutions, anything, any advice you want to give people, business, personal, fitness?
Well, if you're talking about personal, January 20th is a pretty important day. So for me personally, I look forward as a business owner to see what the new administration is going to bring with it as far as helping businesses and be able to prosper compared to, the last 4 years. So with that said, if you're talking personal, but otherwise have an amazing 2025. Happy New Year.
Any personal advice as we head into 2025? About a week from now, people might be feeling a little down, negative. They've eaten a lot of food. They've spent a lot of money over the holidays. Any resolutions, New Year resolutions you want to give to people?
Put your head down and it's funny. I was speaking to a cousin of mine, and he was talking about making a purchase, and it was I won't go into the details, but it was just interesting because I said instead of making a purchase for something that he was going to have to make payments on, he was buying it like as an emergency. I said, why don't you just save $200 to $300 a month? So at the end of the year, you have $2,400, $3,600 worth of savings, and that's such a hard concept for people to understand. They'd rather go spend money to get instant gratification right now and have something that they probably don't need than to save money, especially in this economic times. And it blows my mind. So my advice would be patient. Don't make that big purchase. Save that money instead. I know it's tough because we want that instant gratification. I'm with you, but be patient because especially with the times coming, economically, us not really knowing what's going to come for the new year. Be patient. Save that money. Put it in the bank. Go buy some gold. Go buy some silver. Do something like that. But save your money. Hold on to it, and don't make that big purchase and pay off whatever you spent. I mean, if anything, don't make any more purchases and pay off what you spent during the holidays. So that's my own advice. That's what I'm literally doing at home in my household with me, wife, and my 2 children. We're saving all of our money to just, we didn't have a big spending Christmas. I saw one of your shows the last couple of days about not spending or how people are not spending during Christmas. We are 100% in that statistic. We probably spent half of what we normally would spend during the holidays on all gifts for ourselves and any of our friends and family. So, and the reason is just save, hold on to the money. You don't know what's coming.
Yep. Yeah, that is a great point. You don't know what is coming. Earlier this morning, Enrique and I were talking about what about all these people? They're going to get their credit card bill in January, and there's going to be a lot of buyer remorse out there. Enrique, your thoughts on that?
Yeah, so
buyer remorse, the bills are coming due January for a lot of people who spent recklessly this December for Christmas.
Yeah, it does happen. People, they overspend. A lot of people right now, maybe they have assets that have appreciated as well. And so then they don't sell those assets, but they think they're rich. So then if they have maybe a property or maybe they have other assets that have gone up, they go and they spend all this money on things that are necessary, or sometimes people receive these gifts and they don't appreciate them. And so at the end of the day, once they start receiving those credit card bills, that's when they find out, wow, now they raised their rates. They used to be 29, now they're 36%. And it just becomes very difficult for these people to pay it off. I know many people that have trailing credit card debt for over a year or two, and it just accumulates over time. Also, they take these, they go traveling as well. So maybe some people, they do small trips and they finance it all on the credit card, saying, I'm going to go ahead and do this now. And then they're paying these trips off for 2-3 years.
Your wife's in Colombia. Oh,
no, speaking of traveling, so just talking about what Enrique's saying. So actually, we're taking a trip. We're leaving to Las Vegas tomorrow. We're going to go from the 26th to the 1st. And we already had our hotel booked 2 or 3 months ago. And we were talking about going, and we're gonna bring food with us. We're not going to go out and eat or gamble. We're just going to go to just relax at a hotel with our children. But because of our budget constraints, and like, do I have the money? Maybe, but do I want to spend it? No. So we're actually, although we're going to go travel in Hike, I'm looking at Hike because he's a financial dude. But we're bringing like peanut butter and jelly for our children. We're bringing, eggs and bacon for cooking breakfast. Maybe we'll go to a few dinners on the 6 days that we're going to be in Vegas, me talking about saving money. So even if we're spending a little bit to take a little bit of trip during the holiday, with my son being on a vacation for his school, we're still on that vacation, penny pinching, making sure we take care of, just talking about just even if like spending money on going on vacation. You can still go on vacation, but you have to do it smart. You have to do it smart. Like go on vacation, but it's really hard to do because you're visiting somewhere new and you want to go out and eat every day and you want to, but man, think about every dinner, every lunch is, especially with me, I have 2 kids and my wife, it's $100.
Yeah.
So, if you think about that, if you're eating breakfast, lunch, and dinner, you're spending minimum $300 a day. If you're gone for 6 days, it's $1,800 just in food, not including the other costs that you spend to take a trip. So we're as far as food goes, we're going to go look at things and look at the sites and things like that. But as far as food goes, we're bringing a lot of that with us so we can make sure that we cut some costs, man.
Your wife's in Colombia, and you were talking to her last night. And explain to us the inflation problem, what she reported back to you from Colombia.
Yeah, so she hasn't been there in a while. And so obviously when you don't go to a country like that, a third world country that actually has also been ravaged by inflation, you have a situation where now people that were party goers, they are cutting back. So usually over there on the 24th of December is when everybody celebrates, they open gifts, they're out in the community. There's a lot more sense of a community out there. People step out of their houses and they talk to each other and dance and just go ahead and, like I said, throw fireworks and do all that. But now she said that this year everything was very quiet. Usually people are out there until the wee hours of the morning, but not this year. And so she says it's because of the inflation. She says, I've noticed that now the prices are just way higher on alcohol and on food and on everything else, transportation. So all of that is biting into people's budgets. And so now they don't have the money and the resources in general to be able to provide the same experience that you had 3, 4, 5 years ago over there.
So like Elias said, we don't know what's coming in 2025. We're optimistic. We hope that there's going to be some positive changes, that the country gets back on track, but we don't know what's going to happen. As Enrique said many, many times, there's a huge possibility of a massive rug pull in the markets, the economy, and you have to be aware of that.
Yeah, it is true. You have to remember that there's a lot of big players on the market. And once these big players decide to sell off their assets, that's when you're going to start seeing these massive downshifts in the market. You start seeing lower highs and lower lows, and that's usually how it goes. Now, we don't know if this rug pull that's going to come up, if it's going to be a temporary rug pull or if it's going to be something long-term, because a lot of these stocks and a lot of these different markets, they've ran up so much that they do have to cool off. And sometimes what will happen is you get that reverse downtrend, and then you get a market that just sits very calm for many years.
So the people who have a lot of wealth on paper could wake up one day and that wealth could have evaporated literally overnight. Equity in homes can evaporate literally overnight. Stocks, bonds, all that can evaporate very, very quickly. And so, like Elias said, put some money away, save some money, get the debts paid off ASAP. And let's just pray that it's a great year for 2025, that the economy turns around, it's a boom. But let's not be naive either. This is decades and decades of reckless spending, money printing, quantitative easing, interest rates staying near zero for over a decade. The $7 trillion that was injected into the economy over the health crisis. This is not, in my opinion, going to be fixed overnight or in a year. So be prepared for that.
Yeah, and I just wanted to say, I think use it as a challenge. You can have fun. You can be economically responsible and have fun doing it. Like me and my wife, we take it as a challenge. We think to ourselves, where can we save money? I mean, it's like you don't have to. It's very easy to spend money and think that spending money is what makes you happy. The hard thing is to find how you can not spend money but still be happy. It reminds me of, like, as an analogy, like someone who doesn't drink alcohol but can still have an amazing time out with a bunch of friends in an alcoholic atmosphere, right? Because they just learned how to have fun without drinking alcohol. So, and if you've never tried that, okay. But with that said, it's like that. Like, go out. I mean, there's so many things to do everywhere. We live in a beautiful country, the best country in the world,
Right.
and try to challenge yourself to go have fun and not spend a lot of money to do it, and see how satisfied you're going to be at the end of the month when you look at your bank account and you don't see such a big siphon on it, because and realize you had a ton of fun, but you didn't have to spend a ton of money to do it. So that's my thought process.
I think it was one of Enrique's past videos. Enrique Reacts, if you want to check out Enrique's channel, Enrique Reacts, check that out. But in one of his videos, he talked about the typical American having their instant gratification of going out and spending, that they want that instant gratification, that instant satisfaction using that credit card and buying something that they want today. Not that they'll wait and save for it and pay for it cash, but they want it today, and it doesn't matter if they're going to pay for it over 12 payments, buy now, pay later, 2 years on a credit card at 23, 30%, whatever. They want it today.
Yeah, it's very true. There's a lot of people right now, they just want the instant gratification. That's all they care about. They don't care about the future. I've talked to people over the years, and they even blatantly admitted to me in front of my face that they want it now and they don't care. So if someone is willing to do that, they're willing to tell it to you in your face, tell it to you looking at in your eyes, then you know we have an issue. You know you have an issue, and sometimes this issue, it's not even about the spending. It's something deep inside, possibly an emotional trauma. So this goes way above and beyond just spending. A lot of people have a lot of emptiness, and so that causes them to spend. That's why sometimes if you go to stores, you'll see a lot of people just shopping out of control with their shopping carts full. But a lot of the times, it's all about they have something missing inside of them, and so that's what causes them to spend.
And you've mentioned many times you have clients
Yeah.
making $30,000 a
Yeah.
year, driving $80,000 cars.
Yeah.
Big no-no. Don't do that in
Yeah.
2025.
Yeah, and it does happen. I've seen a lot of YouTube videos lately popping up about people trying to get into these vehicles that are over $100,000, and they have a 400 credit score, and maybe they only have $1,000 to put down, or maybe they have negative equity. There's a lot of people out there that these past couple years, they got themselves into an $80,000 vehicle that probably only has a $40,000 value, yet they're trying to trade it in for another vehicle. They're trying to get out of it, and they're looking at these experts to try to do magic, which it's impossible, especially if you have a real bad credit score or if you don't have a job that pays enough. Maybe you have the cash flow to make the monthly payment, but you don't have the money to come in and to be able to satisfy all that negative equity.
And Henrique, on the part about spending money you don't have, and talking about what's inside, does it seem to you that most of people who are spending the money they don't have are like the lower income kind of people, like compared to, or like because I come from a lower income background, and I know for me, it's so difficult to stop myself from spending money because I never had it growing up. So growing up in a poverty big poverty, I just, it's very difficult not to want to go. But I've learned, and luckily have a wife that reins me in to be able to hold back that spending. But speaking on what you said inside, I think something inside of me says, oh, I want this because I wasn't able to get it when I was young, even if I can't afford it. So I'm just curious, you being able to see all of those things live, does it seem like a lot of times the people who are spending are the ones that shouldn't be spending compared to the ones who have it, typically hold on to it, right?
Yeah, they do. Yeah, and the thing is it's not, yes, you could say that a little bit is about people growing up in poverty and then all of a sudden coming into some sort of money and wanting to go ahead and to treat themselves.
Not even money sometimes, just credit.
Well, yeah, even credit.
Just don't have money, but I got good credit,
Yeah.
so I can put everything on the cards. Like
Yeah, yeah.
I'm speaking about me personally, not. I mean, but I've been able to hold it in. But just
Yeah.
talking about like not even I haven't come into money, but I've definitely come into have good credit score.
Good credit.
Everyone sends me those $30,000 credit limits on my credit card. Like it's very hard not to want to go spend something with that. So
Yeah, that's true. You have to be financially responsible. But again, sometimes it could be also not only because you're coming from an area where maybe you didn't have money at one point, but it also could be because you have other factors that's affecting your life on a daily basis, that you have an emptiness inside of you, right? So then you go spend. And so that's another thing that people do have to work on too. They have to realize, what is it? You have to actually be self-conscious as to what is it that's making you going to spend this, right? So a lot of the times they're also talking about that the majority of supercar owners in the United States, they're the ones that are actually financing the vehicles, and sometimes they don't have enough money to be able to pay all their monthly bills. And so just like that, maybe they do have the love for cars, but they just cannot afford it, right? And so that also could be another situation, that maybe there's something they have empty inside.
What do you think that almost 20% of people financing cars, their car payment is at least $1,000 plus?
Yeah, that's insane. You could pretty much $1,000. I mean,
That used to be a mortgage.
that used to be a mortgage, and that's actually that's a portion of the amount of money that you could use to be able to save as well. You have a lot of savings that you can accumulate over time, but instead you're putting it into an asset that's just depreciating. Very little cars appreciate.
So you got people going broke, trying to look rich to impress people they don't even know.
imagine what $1,000 could do for your health.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm just thinking like
We could be here today.
Well, I'm thinking about JB and Enrique, but definitely I'm thinking about JB. I would say that's comparable, not throwing your expenses out there, but what you spend in jiu-jitsu, getting your stretches in, your chiropractic in, your doctor's appointment,
boxing.
like your boxing in, like your range
No doctor's appointments, no pills, nothing. I'm on no drugs, no pharmaceuticals,
getting into
nothing.
the range in phenomenal shape in his 50s. I mean, to me, that's a responsible. I mean, if you're gonna spend $1,000, I mean, it's just crazy to me to hear that, because I'm just thinking like, what type of? I mean, what's the thing that you want to last the most?
Your body.
Is it your body or the car that you bought? You know, so just speaking about $1,000.
So yeah, you can improve your diet, improve your training, go get a stretch. And by doing all that, you don't go to the doctor. You don't get on pharmaceuticals. Avoid the doctor at all costs. You're better to be spending money here and on your diet, at a gym.
Car's not gonna help you.
And getting a good stretch. Otherwise, you're going to be spending it at the doctor's.
Yeah, and I mean, and by the way, I mean, not to mention that you're going to feel more confident. So speaking about emptiness inside, or speaking about maybe something missing inside, I mean, it's jiu-jitsu. I mean, you could use any martial art, I think, is in this way, but in jiu-jitsu, I can't tell you how often I hear people say this is their therapy. This is the thing that helps them get through their week when they come 1 or 2 days a week, sometimes more, but it's like a therapy for them. So if you're thinking about spending and those type of things, spend it on stuff that's gonna help make you full, like help make you feel good about yourself. Like I've never seen somebody that has come in and trained. I've seen people come in and train and be exhausted when they walked in the door, be tired, whatever life brought them through that day, or brought to them that day. I've seen them come in with that kind of low energy, but I've never seen them leave with that same energy.
Yeah.
It's never fails that when they leave out of here, I've even asked people like, do you regret that you came in? And I've never once had somebody say that, and this is 19 years now, going into January on training jiu-jitsu, never once have I heard someone leave saying that they didn't leave better than they felt when they came in. Right. So with that said, I mean, spend your money wisely, man.
Yep.
I mean, not even jiu-jitsu, anything.
And don't quit. Don't quit. Don't quit. This week we hit the range. We went to boxing, jiu-jitsu. That's the week. And to me, those are just adding skills. We're here on Christmas, just adding to the skill set, trying to get better, trying to catch up to people who are better, and putting the odds in our favor that, God forbid, something bad happen, we can take care of ourselves with our body or with the proper tools. So the range, boxing, jiu-jitsu, we're just trying to cover all bases. Anything you want to add?
Yeah, keep improving yourself. Find ways to be able to make yourself a better person, whether it be catching up on knowledge or physical improvement. And instead of spending several $100s on a monthly payment on a vehicle, if you're thinking about getting into that position, you would rather get yourself into something that you can afford, have some more money left over, and invest it in yourself instead.
That's great advice right there. Invest in yourself.
I think if I can give you like anything going into your New Year's resolution, number one, spiritual health. Really
Amen.
put your time into God and put your time into getting your spirit right. Two, I would say, this can be a 2A and a 2B, but is financial health and physical health. Get those three things aligned and see if in the year 2025 you don't have the best year you've had.
Yeah, that's fantastic advice. And I would say the next to God, the temple, the physical health.
Yep.
Because without that, I said this on yesterday's video. Drove by Eisenhower Hospital. Drive by it almost daily. It's the busiest place in town. It's busier than the mall. It's busier than anywhere. The hospitals. And in your areas where you live too, your hospitals are the busiest place in town.
My wife's there now.
She's a nurse, so she's busy.
But I would say financial health.
Oh, absolutely. But I just know that people give every ounce of gold, silver, every dollar they had to be here today, healthy training. And those people look out the windows, people driving by, wishing they could be out there driving, in their cars, just being out, breathing the air, hearing the birds, looking at the skies. So next to God, physical health and financial health, that's how I put it. Because without your health, and God said, take care of your temple. You only get one body, take care of your temple. And if you don't have your health, there's no amount of money that can replace that. And people in that hospital will give you every millions of dollars that they had to just be in your shoes today.
Good point.
Anything you want to close with on this Christmas?
Good point. So I'll change that. 2, physical health. 3, financial health.
There you go.
That's a great point. My wife is at the hospital now working on Christmas Day. I'm pretty sure everyone that she sees there would love to be either doing something like this or with their loved ones if they had their health.
So we will leave it there today. Have a wonderful, wonderful Christmas. This Wednesday, December 25th, we're going to get some training done here. We'll be here for a couple hours, knock this out, and onward. Have a great day. Be careful. Be safe out there.